Hello, poopsies. Thanks for joining today for this all zodiac signs tarot card reading. It's going to be a long one. I felt compelled to do this for the year 2027. I think this year is definitely a marker for great change. Absolutely. We have amazing things coming and some maybe not so amazing. But 2027 is also going to be a huge year. I just know it. I feel it in my bones. So I really want to look into the energies of that year early on. I want to be early, one of the first to do it, just so people get a general idea, or they could watch it back, come December or come next year, and get an overall idea and vision for what the year looks like. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. If you would like to go ahead and book your own tarot card reading with me, I do offer 15-minute, 30-minute, and 1-hour long sessions. You can make it as long as you want. If you want a 2.5-hour session, you just book 2-hour long time slots plus the 30-minute time slot. It can be as long as you'd like. Okay. So I just want to quickly do shout outs. I haven't done shout outs in a hot minute. So for those who book a 30-minute or longer, I do shout outs, your first name, as a thank you for supporting the channel. So thank you, Joanne, Kayla, Emily, Amanda, Jennifer, Stefan, Cam, Karen, Harvey, Mima, Chris, Isabel, Megan, Emily, Elizabeth, and Zara. I think that's as far back as it goes. Christina, Toby, thank you, Danica, Lauren, Tanis, Maggie. I do want to thank everyone. Catherine, in case I miss anybody. Simi, Grace, Oyantai, Natalie, David, Tanis. Thank you guys. Okay, I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. So that's all. So what are we waiting for? Let's begin. I'm gonna go, obviously the first one, Aries, right? Aries always like to be first. So I'm gonna do full spreads. They can be anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes per zodiac sign. And I will place the timestamps below, okay? So all right, or they're going to be automatically placed. Sometimes YouTube does them automatically, so okay. So Aries, what's going on with Aries? Actually, it's kind of going to be hard to do them. If someone can do them for me, I would appreciate it in the comments, like write the timestamps. It's hard to do them when I don't see the cards. I will be showing you the cards, but still, maybe I should write them down. Okay, I'll figure it out. I did it one time, I'll do it again. So 10 of Brooms. So I'm going to be switching up card decks that I'm using. I'm not going to be continuously using the same card decks. That gets very boring after like 2 hours. And in your custom readings, I also like to do that as well. If it's like an hour-long reading, I'm going to be using 2 or 3 different card decks for sure. So Aries in 2027, I think, really taps into their magic, but also they kind of struggle at the same time. It's like there could be a lot on their plate. They could be overwhelmed with a lot of things. So we have paired with that the 2 of Brooms. So, A lot of them, honestly, they might be starting school. I could see that energy because this looks like someone's studying deep in their book, right? And then here we have the card that says Shiz University. So it looks like a high probability of going back to school, you know, finishing what a lot of people are doing now, their master's degree, you know. That's the new bachelor's degree, you know. The bachelor's degree is the new associates. The associates is the new high school. It's just how it is nowadays. And, you know, within the next couple of years, the PhD is going to be the new master's. It's just, you know, how it is. So it just seems like you're just stepping it up. You're improving your skills, your education. And but part of you is like, oh, like a little frustrated, or like, why do I have to do this now? Or why do I have to go into more student loan debt, you know? I believe they only usually, if you're in the United States, they cover only up to a certain time. If you don't finish quick enough, you have to cover out of pocket the rest of the expense. So this might be out of pocket. And that might be stressing you out, you know? You can hear Paco snoring. Oh, you can't see him. Excuse the background. Like I said, I'm moving, so like drip, 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 bit by bit, slowly each day. I'm packing, organizing. I'm actually renting 2 places at once at the same time, which is very expensive because I don't have time to be moving in like 2 weeks. It'd be a headache. So, all right. So, Temperance. So, you just have to kind of really take it a day at a time. Okay. You really have to, allow yourself to sort of, in 2027, just as a summary, practice that patience that Aries doesn't have, okay? And you're going to get better, all right? You're going to be more tolerant, you know. Less agitated about certain things that used to get on your nerves. 5 of Flowers. So there's destruction in your wake. So it's like you kind of... This could look like, honestly, I don't know, I get like a natural disaster vibe from this. Like this could look like a major global, like natural disaster. I almost feel like it has something to do with the heat. It almost has something to do with like the ground cracks from the heat. Like it's that hot. I kind of feel like houses, like they have to start being made of a different material because it's going to be too hot, something like that, to sustain, or it gets brittle or it gets damaged. You know how you pour concrete and it's like, it's a hot day and it's like, if you're not watering it, it could crack eventually, right? So that's kind of how I'm seeing it. It's like there has to be like a new material or something, or maybe someone that's an Aries invents something new. You know, maybe 3D printed housing will be a thing more and more. I'm sort of getting a lot in 2027 with Aries. A lot of important things, important decisions. It might even be another move or relocation. It might be, could be, again, with school, having to live out of a dorm or live closer to the college, 7 of Coins. I think there's definitely, as long as you're willing to work with others, there's a good plan you can make with people. I don't believe, and especially nowadays, I don't think anyone believes the old traditional route of college education is valid anymore, especially with AI. It's going to be pretty soon quite irrelevant, to be honest. The education you've accumulated is not ever going to be irrelevant. That stays with you forever. But the value it brings to the table is not going to be relevant any longer. I would say probably by 2028, 9 max. Like, I think 2027 people still have a chance. You can still get a job with a college education. Even though it certainly appears jobs are scarce nowadays more than ever. I think there was a statistic recently, like it used to take like 90 job applications to get a job. Now it takes 270 because of all these like mass AI applicants, right? Hello, poopsies, and thank you for watching my videos. I just thought I would quickly announce that if you happen to be interested in any of my services, like tarot card reading or Reiki healing, you can simply check me out on TonyBomboni.com. I'd really appreciate your support on there. Anytime you book a service, you also help support this YouTube page. Every time you book a service, you get a video of your recorded session to your email inbox. Just make sure you use that coupon code TONY2 for 20% off. Thank you, and I hope you continue to enjoy my video. So I'm definitely seeing a changing job market here. For Aries, I definitely am getting like they're affected. I don't know why Aries is affected so much with money first. It's like y'all want to be first, but you're also affected first with the negative things too. You know what I'm saying? And so I think they feel the pinch maybe. But there's like, you have backup. You always are having some backup plan. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this instead, or work this online, or I don't know, open this, social media account and try to grow it and stuff like that. That seems like that's what everyone's doing nowadays, though. It's very oversaturated, and so I don't think people really benefit as they used to by doing that. But you never know. I think a different platform, a different route could make you an extra $500 a month or something like that. Something small like that, that can help you, cover the bills or something. But you're on your own. I don't know why I get this energy. It's like, even if you have like let's say a rich family, right, with a massive inheritance, it's like they're leaving you to do things on your own for once. Or I think you choose that, and you choose not to get financial support. You choose to go out in the world and see how you can fare on your own. And I think that's the scariest part for you, okay? Because it's a long road ahead. There's 10 of yellow bricks. Look, there's a lot of challenges waiting for you. I think 2027 really does bring the year of, pressure for Aries. It's not bad. Look, I'm not saying this is anything bad. It's just challenging. It's going to test you. It's going to test your patience. Ace of yellow bricks. This is going to be a new, fresh start for you, and to try something different. You don't struggle with confidence, Aries, but this will also test your confidence to move forward, your faith in yourself. Because we're human at the end of the day, right? 3 of yellow bricks. Yeah, this could be quite a tumultuous year for you. This could be a year you look back like, dang, I wish none of this happened. From what I see here, from your past, this could even be 2026, maybe even something that happened in 2025, like where you had to move or relocate. There could be something that's like, that's the kickstart. That's the Kickstarter of change in your life, okay? This is going to be a good year for Aries, but next year, rewarding, good, but challenges. Oh, you're going to be tested really, really, really greatly. It's like the mysterious, the unknown, moving forward without any guidance, the lack of guidance here. It's almost like your spirit guides and your spirit team go quiet on you as well. and they're not really in your face, like guiding you. The devil, there could be some things you choose to do that are not so pleasant. You know, those with substance use issues, they should be careful. In 2027, that could be a more problem, especially if you're running into financial problems. You know, anybody could be nowadays, even if you're a billionaire. You know, if you're a billionaire, you don't have $1 billion, right? You know that, right? So you could be running into financial problems even if you're a billionaire watching these videos, because your assets are depleting. You know, you only have so much in liquid. You have to sell this property to pay for this thing. You got sued. All of a sudden, you know, God forbid. But I'm saying anyone at any time can run into financial problems. It doesn't take much, especially nowadays, okay? God forbid, a huge medical expense, you know. So especially if it's student loans on top of this could be very stressful for you. In terms of money, I don't really see it flowing like that. I see more flow if you have, again, someone on board with you, helping you, okay? So, Knight of Brooms. I'm definitely getting you come out stronger after this, okay? And you end up really brave, okay, to handle all the changes. You're definitely going to get through the year. Like, there's no doubt about that in my mind and my heart, based on the cards I'm seeing here. But I'm definitely getting sort of this, like, again, like, oh, like by the end of the year, you're going to be like, why the heck did that have to happen? Like, Spirit, God, Universe, why did you have to test me so much, right? As if I already didn't know I would have passed the test, because I'm an Aries, duh, I'm fabulous. Not me, but I'm saying, like, I'm talking as if I'm the Aries person at the end of 2027. They'll be like, psh. It's almost like they're going to be in denial. They're kind of like, they're like, psh, that was easy. Water off a duck's back. Spirit's going to be like, no, it wasn't. You went through hell, boys and girls, right? So, but you're still going to have that confidence, right? That aura of like, that was nothing, right? So I think you'll be fine. All right, let's move right along. I don't want this video to be 4 hours long. Okay. Let's move on. Why not? Sagittarius. I like to, my order of doing things, I like to go about it with like fire signs first, and then let's say I do water signs, and then I do earth signs, then do air signs, something like that, right? I don't usually go like the order of the birthdays. That's too confusing for me. I guess I'll use the same cards. Sagittarius for 2027. What is going on with Saggies in 2027? 2027. I'm still having my morning tea. It's 10:30 in the morning right now. I like to film during the day. I like to get stuff done first thing. I like to be first. I like to get things done. That's why I think they must have changed my birth certificate. I must be an Aries. Oops. But, you know, sometimes I'm like, am I a Virgo? Am I a Virgo? I don't know. I have a lot of Arisian qualities for some reason, even though there's not a single fire sign in my whole birth chart. No fire at all. Crazy, right? It's almost like my birth certificate was switched. You never know. I used to joke that I was adopted when I was a kid, so you never know. Okay. I'm completely different from my brother. Totally opposite. All right. I was always saying, like, I'm the black sheep of the family. I really am. I'm so different from my whole entire lineage. Like, none of my family members, like, I'm like, what the hell? Okay. Was I just alien, like, implanted here? I don't know. Anyway, weird. 3 of coins. So, Sagittarius. First of all, I think I'm the only gay man in my whole family. Anyway, moving on. 3 of coins. 3 of coins, child. Let me focus. Hocus pocus, I lost my focus. Sagittarius, why you always coming under heat? Why can't Sagittarius get a damn break? Oh, I'm sorry. No, but seriously, I feel for you, Saggies. I like calling you Saggies. I like my Saggies. They're the crybabies of the Zodiac. But, oh my gosh, they come under you're in hot water. You are in hot water with somebody. Socially. I feel specifically socially. Your mental health could struggle a little bit as well. You might come into, it's almost like it feels like a quarter life crisis or midlife crisis kind of point in your life, okay? Or 3/4 life crisis, depending how old you are, okay? We don't discriminate with age here. Age is irrelevant. It's just a damn number. 4 of coins, okay? 4 of coins. I almost feel like someone passes away in 2027. It could feel like end of 2026, but then into 2027, the inheritance is given. And y'all sitting around listening to what the will is. And you didn't get barely pennies on the will. Or maybe nothing at all. And your other family members got something. And you're sitting there like, did my grandfather not like me or something? What is this about? Like, what? Excuse me? I spent all that time with him and he didn't leave me in the will? Like you're gonna feel some type of way, Sagittarius, okay? You're gonna be like, what? Yeah. So, I'm sorry. But this could make you in hot water because you might have a will dispute with somebody or some people, right? It almost feels in the spirit like they gave like half of it to charity alone. So that alone is like, did we not deserve more? Like, you're going to feel left out. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel like, okay. And then you're like asking other members like, hey, can you at least give me 10,000 or something? Like, you got 100,000, like, you know, help a brother or sister out, you know? And that might turn into some problems, okay? 9 of Brooms. They may say, no, they didn't put your name in there for a reason. You know, you might run into issues with a sister, brother, who knows, nephew, cousin. It feels like quite a few family members. And by the time the pie is split up, you're left with nothing, little to nothing. It feels like that. 9 of Brooms. Could also be you thought someone had it like that and they really didn't. They spent it all before they passed. And they just left the house to somebody and not you. Because you weren't that big or important or relevant in their life in some way. So, I don't know, you feel left out. The kind of Sagittarius socially is awkward in 2027. You kind of feel like the loner, the oddball out. You're kind of focused and busy on other things. I think you definitely keep your mind off stuff. You choose to be occupied in other ways and means. Okay. Queen of Yellow Bricks. So, I don't know, there's like a righteous anger. There's, you know, F you all. I'm just going to do my own thing kind of energy. Okay. Just keeping it real, keeping it real. I'm definitely seeing a repetition with 9. Even though I only see 2 9s here, in the spirit, they're telling me 9. I hope this doesn't mean the issue is continuing through 2029. Highly unlikely, or it could be 9 weeks, 9 months of continuous social struggle, problems. Seems like 2027 is not starting off on the right foot based on the cards here. It seems as though you find kind of like are too afraid to find out more. Like you find out a lot in 2027 that gets revealed to you, Sagittarius, that you're struggling to cope with. You're struggling to wrap your head around. And the more you find, the more down the rabbit hole you go, the worse it gets. and you come to realize someone you once loved is actually very corrupt. And there's a lot of secrets to be revealed. And I think you're going to accidentally find those secrets, or like a note left behind from someone who passed, or you're going to realize like, oh, this person was a POS, right? Like, oh my gosh, like you're almost going to be like, thank God they're gone, right? Like something like that. You might have a lot of death in 2027. I don't know, because it usually comes in threes. I don't think it's just this one person. It almost feels like a grandfather energy. Hopefully not a father, but if it's a father, I feel like they have a drinking problem, so it was long overdue. I don't know why I hear 60s. Someone in their 60s or born in the 60s. But the thing is though, someone born in the 60s would be in their 60s now, which is weird, right? So, could be both. It's like maybe someone's father, but they're also a grandfather. Like, I'm getting who it could be anybody. Okay. Strength. I definitely know Sagittarius are strong regardless. They get through. Even though sometimes they can carry the whole weight of the world on their back and on their shoulders. They have to show up and still be strong, smile, still show up at the job, just kind of keep moving forward. And I think you're going to be very good at that in 2027, and kind of controlling your temper, not letting it get, it's going to be a better year if you not let your social issues explode. I'll tell you a story one time, being reminded through spirit now, 13 years ago, actually. Hopefully I didn't have 13 years of bad luck, but for this, because in our culture we believe like broken mirrors, broken glass is not a good thing. Like, I don't know, I was just having an awful day, and I just like, I never told anybody this publicly, I don't think, but maybe I did, I don't know, but yeah, I kicked a door down and shattered the whole glass. To me it's funny looking back, but like no one found out who it was, but yeah, I'm not gonna say where or when, but like, yeah, I was really pissed. That's kind of what I'm getting right now in terms of this energy. Is that kind of like you want to just have this like violent eruption of anger, but you're like, you just center yourself. You choose to be like, nope, I'm gonna tame the inner beast that we all have, by the way. Some are more dangerous than others, mind you, but nope, center, ground myself, relax. Even though you're very, like, I see like the fumes emitting from your nostrils, Sagittarius, like, you are pissed. You are pissed. And it doesn't take much in general to tick you off or get on your nerves, but like, I think it's just like one thing after the next. You're tired of carrying the weight, so you eventually find peace. I think you realize there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can control here. Page of Flowers, Four of Brooms. You find solace, It's almost like you start going out on your own more. Another Saggy thing. It's like you don't really need like certain friends or certain people. I think you choose to kind of disconnect yourself from, maybe even dissociate. Disconnect yourself from those who you used to socially surround yourself with, because you start to find them more toxic with time. So you'd rather just be the observer. You'd rather just like watch like others in your surroundings rather than like really engage with them. You kind of are to yourself, maybe kind of a loner in 2027. The Six of Coins, I still feel like you're eventually, because you're such social creatures, you're eventually going to have the support of other closer friends near you. Or they're going to realize how right you were. They're going to realize like, maybe they had a point about a few things, and I shouldn't have just discredited the Sagittarius. So you have a righteous anger here. You have a reason to be upset, all right? Because others are not seeing you and hearing you clearly. 7 of Yellow Bricks, yeah. Yeah, this is the card of, I just found out something sinister and I'm going to get revenge. Like, this is Sagittarius getting revenge. Yeah. You know, double sevens at the end could mean the 7th month, July. Whatever the case may be, what's hidden in the dark comes and gets revealed in the light in 2027. Oh, I'm sorry, this is 6 and then 7. So it could be June, July. I see 7 though. I see 9 and then 7. So 7, 8, 9. No, I don't know. 7 to 9 months of this issue, I feel occurring. It's a huge chunk of your year, okay? It's more than half. So it's huge unfoldings in 2027 for Sagittarius. Okay, so let's see what is going on. I guess I'll keep going with these cards. With Leo, my next fire sign, the last fire sign, Leo. We did Aries and Sagittarius already. What is going on with Leos right now? Anything we need to know about Leo in 2027? Leo for the year 2027. What is going on with you guys? Okay. Let's see. Remember, you can request your tarot reading to be done in ASMR, soft spoken whisper, or both. And I really would appreciate the word of mouth. I'm trying to grow my business on my website, TonyBomboni.com. So if you guys could please share with everyone you know about my services, I really would appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so 6 of yellow bricks. So, I feel like fire signs are going through it in 20. So what is going on? Why? Why are fire signs being tested? Someone being taken away, or gosh, even arrested probably. This also can indicate having to move away or be taken elsewhere. I don't know, I'm getting that energy even for 2026. It's like, I don't know why I'm seeing like this could be a collective message as well, like people being rounded up, people being taken away by law enforcement allegedly, entertainment purposes only. I mean, hasn't that already been going on? But I definitely see like more of that for some reason. More of like a strict like surveillance type energy in 2027. And Leos might be maybe the first to stand up or protest against that. Or there's like a Leo dominant male that's more like, hey, you know, like we need to stop this. Like what is going on with humanity, you know? Knight of yellow bricks. Yeah, this is definitely giving me an energy of like, you're finding out something. And it's like, it's not going the right way. It's like, you just have to keep moving forward no matter what, you know? Some of you could be in your careers responsible with an important life-changing choice, decision, knowledge, information that you can disclose, but you have to keep it to yourself. You know, you can't really reveal it to the public yet. You have to keep this confidential. So there, something might be, this could look like definite improvements in your job. Because that indicates like, especially if now you're watching this video and you're like, oh, I'm not really responsible for anything that important. By 2027, you will. You will have earned the company's trust. 8 of yellow bricks. You know, be careful who you surround yourself with, and even where you live. I feel like you're going to feel kind of closed off, isolated. You're going to feel sort of like you don't really belong where you live. So maybe it could be a time for you to also get movement, change your scenery, change where you live. 10 of flowers. Change it up. Don't be afraid to change it up, Leos, okay? All right. You definitely like to do that, Leos. You like to just like change, like you don't really like staying in the same place too long, don't you? You don't like feeling stuck and stagnant. So I think 2027 might make you feel more like restricted and limited, especially if this is an issue with like allegedly like law enforcement or corruption in society, where there's like, I almost see like more protests. I almost see like, I see a lot of fire. I see like people just like really angry people. I don't know. I just see fire and anger. I just see a lot of that in 2027 for some reason collectively. Something about surveillance, mass surveillance, something about some monetary policy. Some could be about jobs as well. It's almost like some people let out an anger and frustration from their jobs by going to these alleged future protests. I feel like 2027 is just like people riling up, standing up, like just yeah. So 10 of flowers. You miss your old life. I feel like you low-key miss how things used to be. You just have to know and face it, Leo. You can't get back what's now gone. You cannot take that back. You cannot go back to the past. We have to move ahead. As scary as it is, I know the future is more uncertain than ever before, my poopsies. I know it's terrifying, but you can't live in that fear, okay? You have to stop it, all right? Because it's also beautiful. It's going to lead us into the future we always wanted. I promise you, it's going to happen, okay? It may take a few years, but you have to go through the darkness if you want the best world possible. If you want to live in a future sci-fi fantasy, you have to go through hell first, okay? So, Page of Coins. It's, you know, freedom is not given. We know by history, freedom is not given. You have to fight for it, okay? So, I think, again, I've seen this before. There's a handsome, tall man that grabs a microphone and stands up and just says something. And it speaks to a lot of people. He says something and he speaks to the audience. I keep seeing this in my vision. He almost has like a ripped shirt, like ripped sleeves. And he speaks for the people. I don't know who this man is. It feels it could be a Leo. He plays an important role, or a leadership role. Page of Coins. So, I'm definitely getting you're like, it's like you go back in some ways. You go back to your like earlier years. Like you almost like, you don't know how to have therapy, and where you just go like shopping spree therapy. It's like you are just trying to therapize yourself without a therapy. Like you are doing what it takes to just get your mind off stuff. Like you don't want to sit in that negativity. You are you are like, I'm not going to let the negativity of the world bring me down, my fabulous Leo self, right? That's what you're saying to yourself. Ace of Coins, right? You're not letting that hold you back, honey. You're still shining. You're still shining. I don't know why this looked like an onion to me. Maybe you need more onions in your diet. They are full of good stuff that you need. Yeah, this thing looked like an onion to me. I pay attention to pictures. I definitely get this is a perfect year for you to start your entire career over. How you make money will also be completely reset. We're already in a great type of reset, a grand type of reset. As you see everything changing right now, if you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, I don't know what you're doing, but it's definitely, I'm noticing a lot of changes, as I've been foreseeing for the beginning of 2026 since the last few years. I knew it would start unfolding now. I can't believe how quickly it is. It's kind of shocking, but yeah. You foresee things as a psychic, but then when it happens, you're like, oh, damn. You're like, I didn't see that coming, right? Like everything seems more extreme. So the Empress, if I need to remind you, gold and silver is skyrocketing. That is typically not a good sign for the economy. A good sign for those holding precious metals, but not for the economy. And, the chairman, Jerome Powell, now what's happening with taking the Fed out, a lot of massive money changes are happening. Assets going down, deflating, things are shifting. So, it's more than just those things, but that's a summary. So I'm seeing definitely by 2027, like there is something where like, it's almost like people are free to do what they please without having to just rely so heavily on the 9-to-5 to support and bring more. It's like you have more spending room, or, it could be like, all right, your money's not going to matter in a few years anyway. Your retirement's not going to really matter in a few years anyway. So you might as well spend what you got. So I almost feel like people go on that like F it spending shopping spree, right? And I see like all the girls buying all the cosmetics and their beautiful vanity mirror and making their powder room look so cute and bourgeois, But the Empress is a lot of love too in Leo's energy, a lot of love energy. Like I feel like if you were in a relationship for like 20 years, like you're out, you're done being stuck, right? You are just going to move on. You don't want to be with the same person, Leo. Even if at one point you loved them, you just want to be free. Something about 2027 just makes you snap and just say, I want to just do my own thing now. So you're going to protect it at all costs. You're not going to let anyone interfere with your happiness and success in 2027. I think you make it a good year for you, Leo, because you make it a good year, because you choose to. 4 of yellow bricks. There's that like, Leos are like that cuddly lion at heart, right? They're like that very friendly cub, even though on the surface, especially when they're angered, they show as a roaring lion, right? But inside their heart, they're always a little cub. They're a little chicken shit, as they call it, right? They wouldn't hurt a fly. So you are going to be very helpful. I think you also give your money also to help others. I think once you go on that shopping spree, you look outside and you're like, oh damn, there's still homeless people. Like, and then you feel bad and you're like, okay, I'm going to give one of these items to them. They can sell it on their own, whatever. Like you feel bad. Like there's something about this like guilt eating you for your riches, if that makes sense. And you start giving it away more. That could be what I'm seeing. The moon. So you kind of have like in a weird way, like a lurking, kind of almost like dark night of the soul, but you kind of brush it off by spending, breaking up with your partner. Like you kind of like, you're like, no, I'm not going to work on my problems this year. I'm just going to kind of like deflect it, almost in like a narcissistic manner, right? And like an egotistical, prideful, lashing out like a 12-year-old kind of manner. It brings you more joy, even if temporary, even if fake happiness in 2027. So how you manage it isn't how it's going to go down. If you choose the path of working on yourself, you're going to have to face some really dark okay? You're going to have to face some really dark demons in the closet if you're willing to. Cards are not necessarily telling you what's going to happen. They're guiding you on, if you choose this path, this is what can happen. Thank you, fire signs. Let's move right along into the water. Let's douse that fire with some fresh water. I'm going to use a different pair of cards now for each element of the Zodiac. Thank you, Wicked Tarot card deck. I'm going to move right along into the Crystal Visions Tarot card deck. I've been using these two decks for your readings the last few weeks. I love these card decks. Like, they're so beautiful and they connect so wonderfully with me. They're definitely my new favorite. Oh, I'm out of tea. I have to get some water soon. Just having green tea. Green tea is very good for detoxing. So let me focus. Let's focus on Pisces. Let's start with Pisces. I feel drawn to Pisces for some reason. In 2027, Pisces for 2027. What's going on with Pisces in the year 2027? I'm going to light some sage just to kind of, in between each element as well, of the Zodiac, just to kind of clear the energies, say au revoir, thank you, we part ways for now. Thank you, Spirit Guide Universe, for coming through, cleansing the energies of the cards of any past readings, protecting my mind, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and my poopsies is watching at home as well, my Piscean poopsies. And anyone else, you can watch for your sun sign, rising, moon, whatever you want to do, right? Maybe I like to watch my favorite is not listening to my own Zodiac. My favorite is listening to people I know and love in my personal life, So that's always fun. Like, oh, what's going to happen in their life? What do I want to share with them? What do they need to know, right? That's fun. Sometimes I'm scared to listen to my own Zodiac. Sometimes I don't want to know. I'm like, no, universe, just surprise me, okay? But I feel like in a lot of ways we can control the path of our own lives for the most part. Not all things, but we can control how we react. We have the power. Doesn't matter what happens to us. It's our own inner workings, our own inner healed self and growth and evolution as soul that gets us through life. It's not like you don't have to worry so much about what's going to happen next. It's how you view things as well, okay? So that's self-empowerment, so you don't rely on just simply methods of guidance, We have to rely on our internal compasses as well. But it's nice to be guided. It's nice to book a reading once in a while and just get some insights and see, are you on the right path? A lot of times people like to book and sign up for those things, but I don't want anyone to be addicted to me or rely on me. That's never what I'm never going to do that. It's not worth the paycheck to me. I want people to be led and guided at the right time to my readings. Okay. So Pisces, 6 of Pentacles. I like tapping on the cards. So, 6 of Pentacles. This is your era of abundance, Pisces. Finally. Pisces always struggle with money. You know why? Because they're fluid. They're liquid, they're water. The fish swimming in the sea. The money gets spent like water. It comes off them like water. Literally, like water off a duck's back, right? Same thing. They're not good at keeping the money. They're good at allowing it to flow in abundance because they're water, right? It comes in flow. It's a currency. A sea current, currency, right? So, water is energy. That's why if you do like altar for money, it's a good idea to have a waterfall fountain. Those like mini waterfall fountains you can get at Walmart for like $20. Put that in the corner next to your altar. That's gonna flow more abundance your way, okay? Yeah, I definitely see you continue to get money and keeping it now, though. There's something about Pisces where you finally keep it, okay? You're not spending it so much because you receive a lot, but you also spend a lot, Pisces. So, I think you finally get to keep some after all this time and years. The unknown card. So, this is, again, like kind of what I said earlier with Leo. Your year's going to go the way you desire to make it go. This is my favorite card of all time because it's not just such a beautiful card, an illustration, but it's like the mysterious, the unknown, like the unknown aspects of life, right? You make it what you will in 2027, Pisces. And I think you hold the power here this year. You hold the key to accumulating and acquiring what you've always desired. It could be property. It could be for some beauty, okay? If it's, some people just are working on their physique, maybe doing surgeries to alter their appearance. There's nothing wrong with that. You have a goal, you go after it. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I feel like in the spirit to say, do your own thing in 2027, okay? Don't listen to what others say, is what Spirit's saying to you. Do your own thing. What feels right to you, that's your chosen path here, okay? We're all here to do something different. Some people are here to contort their bodies and, hit up the gym and be very buff and eat healthy and set an example for those who aren't. Some people, their purpose is to do the opposite, to set an example for those who are, right? So, to say, oh, I don't want to be that person, right? You never know what your purpose is here. Really, like a lot of times it's what you least expect. That's usually your purpose. It's the thing you like least thought of, I've come to find. So, Knight of Swords, it's sometimes like the complete opposite of what you're doing now, right? That's how funny life is. It will lead you in a crazy way, it really will. It's so funny. So I think you're going to kind of notice that hiccup in the universe or that synchronicity, right? You're going to finally be more aligned and it's going to make more sense. And that intuition that Pisces so dearly has that other signs don't have, that's like the BS detector. You can sniff the BS from afar before anyone else can. But you're done helping people. It's almost like you're just done. You've been warning people. You've been telling them. You've been warning and telling. You're like, you know what? Up yours, right? No one wants to listen to me anymore. Fine. I'm going to go off and do my own thing. Some people, you might even vanish for a while. You might disappear, go on a month-long vacation, turn off your phone, throw the phone in the ocean. There's something very liberating about you kind of just escaping reality for a bit. By no means do I say do I recommend disappearing. Please tell someone what you're doing, where you're going, so no one thinks you're going missing, for goodness sake. But I'm saying, like, you almost do something like that, okay? It feels like the more I tap in, the more I'm seeing with all the zodiac signs, there's a rebellion. There's a rebellious, angsty energy in 2027. It's very fiery, it's very angry, it's very, I'm done with this old BS. And it's like Superman ripping off his shirt, like it's that kind of energy. Okay. There's a reason Spirit led me to do 2027 today. 2 of Pentacles. you were like in limbo for a long time. I'm seeing like you were neither here nor there, and you've had to work with where you were at, and that made you very uncomfortable for a long time. Seven of Pentacles. Look, with the 6 and the 7 of Pentacles over you, you are gonna be reeling it in. You're gonna be racking in the riches in 2027. You are gonna make more and earn more than you have ever. A lot of this is in the form of assets. I keep hearing that. Assets, assets, assets. Okay? Physical assets. Like property. Or you use your physical assets to buy, you sell it to buy property or something like that. It's going to be a very good year for you with money. Very, very, the best. In fact, the best year you have ever had financially in your whole life, believe it or not. Mark my words, this is coming. The moon, it's because you did all the work. It's because you did all the work. You put in all the work. You put in the hours. You dedicated to yourself. You committed to working on yourself. In 2026, I think this is going to be an important year, Pisces, for you to do that, so that 2027 is a better year. Because those people who like win, let's say $100, $200 million in the lottery, and then they go spend it all, and they're miserable again, right? They don't know what to do with it. It's because they didn't work on themselves before they won. Okay, so you want to work on yourself so that when you hit it big, okay, you can handle it better. You can manage it better. It's time to start learning about money. It's time to start learning about finance. It's time to start learning about asset building, net worth building, and building that network of people who know what they're talking about. It's time to already put that manifestation out there. If you only have $2,000 in your account, look, right now is the time to hire that financial advisor and say, for when I get 20,000, 200,000, 2 million in my account, how can you help me manage and grow my money? Because it's sitting there is not doing for you, okay? You have to work with it for it to work with you, okay? So you don't have to work all the time. So I will say to you, my dear Pisces, please, 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 put the manifestation out there. Pretend as if you already have more. Talk to someone who knows what they're talking about. Don't just hire someone who's a few months on the job. Hire someone who knows what they're talking about 10, 20, 30 years on the job. Okay? Please. Don't hire an amateur. You're not an amateur. You are not a mediocre amateur person. Neither should that person be. I'm not saying anyone a few months on the job is mediocre amateur. Okay, we all have to start. But even if it's a little more expensive, hire someone with more experience. Okay? More experience means more expense. Every time. Okay? That's why businesses have to raise their prices at least every few years. Two of Swords. Okay, so maybe this could mean something with your business really blossoms. You could even sell your business and go live in a foreign country. You're free. I apologize. Someone came to the door real quick. Let's continue. So, where was I? So I was saying the Two of Swords, correct? I think that's where I left off in this reading. So I was saying it's going to be a great year for Pisces in terms of wealth building. And there's still a lot of unknowns, a lot of uncertainty. There's some things that are not fully developed yet in your story of your life, but it's going to mostly be good. Magician. It's like someone's coming to save the day, or someone comes with the final plan or solution, and it's like a good outcome out of that. Three of Swords. As long as you're not really giving into the fear of the unknown, you're going to be better off than those who are. Not that your circumstances necessarily will be better off, but it's how you react to things that is going to lead to the desired outcome. So something that could scare someone else could actually excite you into being excited about like the unknown, right? Not being certain or not knowing for sure how things are gonna lead in your life. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah. Need I say any more? Your money's protected. You're safe. Anything that you have grown and developed now and moving forward is going to be really working for you. Your money is going to work for you. You're going to not work for it. So you are going to have like that home as well. You're going to have that home that you call home. So it's going to be a good year, 2027 for Pisces. So let's look into Cancer. Cancer for 2027. What is going on with the Cancer zodiac sign for the year of 2027? Allow me to see and say. All right. For Cancer, I'm putting the cards face down, giving it an air of mystery. Let's see the Tower. So everything starts to really rearrange itself in a good way. Things are not going to necessarily fall apart. It's just going to be a time of reclaiming, reclaiming your power. Because you couldn't before. You didn't have the ability. You didn't know how to do so before. The world. So when I get Tower in the world, this also indicates to me a collective shift. And so that you could be a huge part of that collective shift in 2027 Cancer. There could be definitely a lot that you do that one thing leads to the next. What you do in 2027 is going to have a ripple effect for others as well. And you're going to set a great example for people in your community, in your job, with your friends and family. 5 of Cups. But you still kind of feel like, I think you're going to release a lot of the old that's happened to you. You're going to feel kind of like that sorrow, like, oh, why did I have to go through hell? Why did I have to go through all of this? Because Cancers have had a hell of a time in the 2020s. I don't think they got out easy. I think it was very, very difficult for Cancers. I would say in the 2020s. 6 of Cups. You miss how things used to be. Simpler times. I think things got a little bit too complex and carried away nowadays. And you wish you could go back to that simple, straightforward world where everything made sense. People knew what the rules were and how to play by the games of the rule book, of life. And now everything is disrupting that, rearranging that, scrambling our brains. So, literally. So, it definitely feels as though you feel very much like, I don't want to be in this earth kind of energy. You feel very much you don't belong, you don't fit in. And so definitely talk to someone, definitely talk to a mental health practitioner in 2027. It's 10 of Cups. Thankfully, your love life is still solid. I see definitely a high probability of love in 2027 if you don't have it yet. I'm seeing those who are currently with a partner that's going to keep going, that's going to continue. Okay, it's going to be very good. And for children as well, or an extra, like second or third child, fourth child, fifth child, even. King of Swords. You might even have 2 children in 1 year. Like, it's going to be a very fertile year for women's, and the men providing the support for the family members to provide for, the offspring. So I see a lot of, stability there. I I think still the trauma or fear. There was something with a house or somewhere you lived. There was a trauma. You needed help. You needed like guidance on what to do. There was somewhere you wanted to live. You imagined you lived, but then you had to move to somewhere else entirely. And it was a traumatizing process. Cancer is not good with moves. Like with relocation, they're hiding in their shell. They want their shell, right? And you ask them to move shells, like, ooh, you know, that's a big deal for Cancer. You know, it's very traumatizing and stressful for Cancer to move houses. Like you don't normally just move around like that every couple of years, like some people. So you are definitely wanting to just be in one place, right? And start a family and raise it. And yeah, so you want that forever home. You don't want to just be moving around, jostling around. So 2027, you might put your foot down and say, like even to your partner, if they're thinking about upgrading, you're like, nope, let's save our money, invest it. Like, let's stop moving into these bigger places, right? We don't need that much space anyways. Even if it's more children, it's like, yeah, it's going to be a while until those children grow up. So you don't really need a bigger space, something like that. Queen of Pentacles, I think you really put your foot down in this relationship. You really at least match the energy of your partner. You are really going to want to, Cancer in 2027, not like one person above you. Like you kind of like, no, if you're acting like this with me, I'm going to match you right here with me, right? We're going to be both equals. I'm not going to go ahead and, you know, try to be like under you or try to be like too passive with you. Even if they're the man, I'm the woman. Like, you know, we're equal, right? There's something with that here. 5 of Swords. So it might be time to say goodbye to an old friend. There might be a parting ways here. At least a partition, a divide, even if temporary. Sometimes when you part ways with certain people, it's like for 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years, and then they eventually come crawling back, right? It happens a lot of times with exes, mostly exes I'm talking about. So there could be an ex coming back, crawling back in your life and asking for forgiveness, and you know, they realize they can't live without you, that kind of energy. But especially if you're already in a relationship and with children and you're married, like, oh my gosh, and you have a house together, it's too late for the ex, you know. You've moved on long ago. So they might contact you in 2027. Strength. But if it's a friend, I think maybe I'm going to say a friendship may end in 2027. That's what I'm going to say. A friendship may end in 2027. But they may eventually reach out. But if it's an ex, they may reach out in 2027. Strength, maybe even 2028. That's how I see it. Strength. You're going to look back on your life, but still look ahead. You're going to say, yeah, dang, I accomplished that, didn't I? Like, I did that. I really got through all of that. And I got better on the other side of all this hell I went through. 8 of Wands. Yeah, 2028 is going to be a very good year for Cancer. I really do feel that in the spirit. I'm getting double 8 here. And I'm feeling as though this Fire Horse, like, year, it's, like, going to end very well. When does Fire Horse end? I don't know my calendar right now, but whenever Fire Horse ends in 2027, like January, February, that's going to be like the best time for you. Okay? I'm definitely getting that energy as well. Like from that point into the next year, what's the next year? It was snake. Wasn't it like dragon, snake, and then now it's horse, and then what's after horse? Is it rooster? Whatever is after horse, that's going to be one of your greatest years. That's how I see it. Okay? So it's a great time for success in career, business as well. Okay, so let's move on to Scorpio. Let's read into the energies of Scorpios for 2027. What is going on with Scorpios in the year 2027? What does Scorpio need to know right now for 2027? TonyBomboni.com. Just as a reminder, if you guys want your own custom, personal, private, confidential tarot card readings that are filmed and sent to your email inbox for you to watch back forever, whenever you'd like. Okay, so we have the 10 of Wands. All right. Scorpio, you've put in all the time. You've clocked in all the hours. I feel like you're the type of person, like, even though traditionally I don't associate Scorpio with, I'm going to clock in every day and be on time. Maybe sometimes. Even if they do, they don't enjoy their job. No, they're coming in looking at the coworkers like I own you. You know? At least the prideful Scorpios. But they are basically very diligent. I feel like you have been just clocking in. You've been doing your job. You've been staying humble, low-key, and quiet. You have really been quietly manifesting. You have been clocking in, getting those paychecks, just going home, minding your business, putting money in your savings, not telling anybody what you're doing, you know? Like, you shouldn't even be telling people, oh, I'm putting money in, like, you know, in this account or whatever. Like, you Scorpio, you really should be keeping quiet about those things, okay? You know, don't be telling nobody your plans. No one has to know. The Chariot. So, I think you're secretly planning to leave. You're scheming to leave this workplace because you've already stashed and saved enough. Yeah, you're ready to bounce. I feel like a lot of you could be in your 40s and you're just like, yeah, I'm done working. I don't want to work the rest of my life. Life is so precious as it is. Why do I have to spend it, you know, slaving away to a corporation that doesn't even really, you know, for every dollar they give me, I make them $10, $100, $1,000, you know, and you don't feel like you got your gains. So you're quietly like, okay, B words, like, I'm gonna quietly clock out. I'm gonna check you when you least expect. I'm not even going to give my 2 weeks notice. You are low key right now in 2027. That's how it feels. You are planning your exit, your great exit. And it's going to shock. It's going to create ripple waves in the workplace. The Star, they're going to remember you. They're going to remember you. The Star, so, even though I feel like in a weird way you just started there, or you just started being consistent, like within the last 10 months to a year, you were really putting in the work to be humbly low-key, right? And pretending like you don't have it like that, even though you do. I think there's a lot of hard feelings still, even from prior years, from past exes, friendships, that you're giving, letting it go to God, to the universe, to take care of for you. You know, you're not holding on to those grudges or resentments anymore of years prior. Even some Scorpios who have done like hexes or curses on people, which they're known to do, I would say they're starting to say, please God, forgive me for sending that to that person. Please, Lord, I'm sorry. Because I know at the end of the day, whenever someone sends a bad ill will to someone, it always comes back. That's karma. And so you realize the consequence of your actions. And so you really ask for forgiveness. And, you know, and I think the universe will see you and say, okay, it's forgiven, you know. We just have to step out of it, you know. Karma is so, you just have to walk away from it. It's that simple. It's a choice. I'm just going to choose not to be in karma anymore. That's it. Religion calls it sin. It's just karma. They're just talking about karma, okay? And I'm not even talking about religion here. I'm just saying, like, you know, all you have to do is forgive yourself at the end of the day, you know, for what you've done. And there could be some guilt here, all right? So There's some guilt about what you have done and your power, because Scorpios hold a lot of power, especially with magic, okay? It's a very threatening magic, because they are a very threatening zodiac sign when they're passionate enough, angry enough. King of Pentacles, or they feel they've been wronged, when they feel they've been spited, things in spite of themselves or whatever, you know, like they feel like, okay, I'm going to attack spiritually with magic, you know, but you realize you let the anger get the best of you. And so King of Pentacles shows a mature, responsible Scorpio in 2027, someone who's learned the lessons, someone who's grown beyond the BS, rise above the karma, you know, stop getting yourself involved in people's drama, negativity. I almost feel like even like there was something you were caught in the middle of that was traumatizing at one point or another, that was very upsetting to you, and it caused a lot of hurt, and you're very empathically picked up on that. And so there's going to be forgiveness with those friends now. 3 of Cups, there's going to be a unity once more of forgiveness between all of you as well as a group. You know, the sorries, the I love yous. There's going to be a lot of this liberation of hard feelings. Page of Cups. It's a good time to get creative, to be, you know, free in general. Practice the arts as well, even the liberal arts. It's going to be a great time for you to dive deep into a new field of study, to learn a new trade, skill, craft. So I definitely see a lot of people going back to some sort of education or schooling in 2027. I did see that with Aries. I'm seeing that with Scorpio now. 4 of Swords. Make sure you're, you know, staying hydrated, not depleting yourself, you know. Go for a jog if you feel like your muscles are, you know, worn out. You know, if you're not moving them enough, you're going to get sore. People wonder, why am I so in pain? You're not moving your body. If you're just sitting still constantly, we're meant to move, okay? We're made of water. Water's meant to move. It's constantly in motion. So move those joints, stretch those fluids, okay? Move around a bit, especially if you struggle with weight gain or even struggle with weight loss. Okay? All right. Even digestive or gut problems, you know, those really definitely want to make sure they reduce their stress levels as well, and be aware of who they are around, who they spend time with. Because being around certain people can definitely trigger those gut problems, especially if they stress you out, Scorpio. So 10 of Swords. I almost feel like Scorpio has some health issues. I can't help but see that. I don't know if Scorpio is the zodiac that is well known for nerve issues, but I kind of sense that gut issues. I kind of sense that in 2027, like there could be some issue with your nerves, your gut. It's all stress related, okay? That's all it is. You're stressing yourself to no return. The Empress, you have to learn to love who you are, even that extra, you know, belly fat or love handles or fupa and all, right? Like, you got to learn to love your curves, okay? Because no one's really looking at you and judging like that anyway. You know, it's just, yeah, people judge online on Instagram. It's so hateful. Like every time I see someone like plus size and they make a video, and there's always some stupid comments under their page like, oh girl, you're so big, or oh, so like, are we really that immature? Is this the early 2000s? Like, get real, come on. Everyone is different shape and size. So it's time to stop focusing on those judgmental comments. Just be you and love you, because I feel like some of you have like something that you just can't shed, like a weight that just sits there, or something that just is who you are. It's almost impossible to shed those pounds. I sort of feel that for Scorpio. Or some Scorpios are stressed and they're overeating, overindulging because they're stressed, and they're having a lot of unnecessary weight gain. that's hard to shed. So I feel like this really brings you down, your self-esteem, your confidence. So 2027, be mindful of like extra water weight, bloating, fat deposits where you didn't before. We're all aging, we're all changing. There's no judgment, okay? Look, your body is just a physical vessel. It's a temporary carcass anyway that your soul is carrying around. So who cares, okay? I feel like you have to really be proud of who you are, right? Be proud of taking up more space, Be proud of being different, being set apart, because you're here for a reason, You are made of love. We all are. It has nothing to do with how much we eat, how we appear in the mirror, how we appear to someone else. Because at the end of the day, again, like people just going in the store grocery shopping, they're not like, oh, look how big he is. Like, they're not focused on that. They're focused on, okay, where do I get that can of beans? I'm certainly not focused on how people look. I don't know about you, but okay, so no one's judging, no one's worried about you. Don't worry, okay? Just be your authentic self. So Scorpio may struggle with self-esteem in 2027. Okay, so, but it's overall going to be a releasing, healing year, forgiving, self-loving year, okay? All right, so that's all the fire and water signs. So we're halfway through. I'm going to move on now with another deck of cards. Let's use these ones. Why not? I believe this was the... What cards are these? I don't know. Oh, This Might Hurt tarot deck. This Might Hurt tarot deck. Let's move on into Taurus, the earth signs. Let's do earth signs starting with Taurus. What's going on with Taurus in the year 2027? Card jumped out, that's why I made that face. What does Taurus need to know in the year 2027? So I'm going to consider that the first card. So this is the card that jumped out, the first card, which is anytime a card slips out of the cards when I shuffle, it's important. Spirit wants you to know it. Two of Wands, Taurus, 2027. TonyBomboni.com for your own personal readings. Make sure you let everyone you know about my services. I'm really trying to grow my business lately. I'd appreciate the word of mouth. Thank you, guys. So, Two of Wands. So you're discovering a new path. This is, in 2027, a life where you didn't have before. It's completely different. It's unfamiliar, uncharted territory. And you have to be a little uncomfortable and kind of be in this unknown. This could look like some people taking like a spiritual retreat, finally taking some time off to decide the roadmap of their life, When was the last time you had time off to think, to just process without watching TV or having headphones, or listening to music or talking to someone on the phone. When was the last time you just sat there and just thought, really processed? It's hard, but where is my life heading? Where am I moving forward toward? Two of Swords. So this might take you a couple months to do, to really solve, it'd be a good New Year's resolution for you next year, is to, where am I headed? This is the unknown. This is the uncharted. There's going to be a lot of uncharted territory in 2027 for a lot of people, okay? Taurus is going to feel it. And I believe, Uranus is finally leaving Taurus. That's going to play a huge role for Taurus as well, because now it's okay, that cycle's over. What next, right? What is the next path moving forward for my life specifically? 10 of Wands. I don't know how Uranus can influence, but I'm sort of getting that vibe now. It's that's going to be a great year for you to be influenced in other ways now, rather than how things were since 2018. There's going to be something completely different. Something in 2018 changed the marker of your life, And now 2027 will completely change it. That makes sense. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. That's 9 years. Things typically tend to be different anywhere between 9 and 13 years of your life. It's typically like the changing point of long-term events, relationships, like not relationships, but like just that's more sevens. It's typically gonna be like major unfoldings in your life, major rapid change and unfoldings in your life. Okay, so 10 of Wands. I think you are done being the responsible unit. You are done carrying all of that burden. You leave responsibility off to someone else. The Sun. You just miss better days. You miss, waking up in the morning, having your coffee, and just not having a damn problem in the world. Like, it almost felt like that was you. Maybe, I don't know, I'm getting 19, could be 2019. That's what I'm getting, that kind of time range. The last 10 years were very different and unfamiliar to how you are used to living your life. And you'd much rather live it differently now in 2027. I think 2026 is going to be the last year you live this way. The way you've been living the last 10 years, 8, 9 years. Page 7, 8 years from now is what I'm saying. 2018 until now. Page of Pentacles. Okay. So you come up with a new idea. Taurus is good at like, you know what? I'm just going to change my life overnight. I'm just going to randomly, impulsively, spontaneously do this new thing. And it just somehow works. 4 of Swords. It definitely will require spending your money. You might even decide to spend all your money to make this goal or dream happen. It's thanks to coming up with ideas by sitting there and thinking of plans. That's why I say in 2027, Taurus, the energies won't support you now. Yes, it's good to do this every day, sit and think for 10 minutes a day, but the energy simply won't work and support you until you activate that 2027 portal, right? Once you enter 2027, then this energy will support you by sitting there thinking, coming up with ideas and plans for your life. Things have to still happen. There's a lot that has to go down the next year for this energy to support you. So don't think, oh, I'm just going to start doing this now and expect no, it's not going to work until you enter that next year. Sometimes some things don't work because you have to enter a certain time in your life. The planets are not aligned for you yet, okay? You have to wait till next year. Period. Knight of Swords. Then we have the Hermit. So, you might be a little stir crazy and cabin fever in 2026 because you have to put those funds aside for something else, a future goal. You're not sure what you want to spend it on yet, but you know that you have to put it aside, okay? So you're keeping quiet, and you're not telling anyone your plans. You're not telling how much you have, and what you're about to do next, because, you strike out of nowhere. The bull strikes when you least expect. It just, it could be behind someone's back too. So be careful, again, that same energy, because you just exited Uranus and Taurus, which is about karma finally coming back on people. But you don't want to keep rehashing that karma, because it's going to come back to bite in the future even harder if you're not careful. So it taught you not to be a jerk. It taught Taurus, not to get involved in karma, not to bully people even, because they can be bullied because of the horn, sometimes that Capricorn or Aries energy, anything with horns can be like bully energy, okay? Harassing, stalking, high probability. I'm not always, obviously, but so I'm definitely getting, it's hard to be alone. It's hard for you to reflect alone. You might have to actually face being by yourself next year with your own, with your own problems. The devil. So you might be, again, Taurus also has high probability problems with addictions. So be careful not to get overboard. Some people might even accidentally go overboard and, you know, God forbid, but, you know, be very careful. Spirit's warning you to be very careful with your use and how much you consume, you know, how much you know, yeah. So 8 of Pentacles. Definitely, I think you end up better in 2027 by the end of the year. I definitely see that by the end of the year. It might take you that whole year to really figure things out and get your ducks in order, but you're going to be very happy with what you invested in. It could be a new business. It could be a new house. Both, you know, I think depending on how many resources you have to allocate at your expense, then it's going to serve you, but it's going to serve you mostly. You're tired serving other people. Like I said, you're done with that energy of I'm carrying the weight of everyone and everything. I'm going to do me now. I'm going to make myself happy, and this better serves you. So let's move on let's do Virgo next. Being led to Virgo. What's going on with Virgo 2027? What's going to unfold with Virgos in year 2027? We have the Ace of Cups. A release, something that you didn't even realize like you were holding on to. You're gonna let it go. A very big emotionally healing release. Releasing energy. Judgment. Releasing all judgment. Releasing, you know, Virgos can be judgy people. Releasing all of that, even negativity of the past. I think like something or someone finally leaves you alone in 2027. It's like you finally are left to feel what true peace can feel like, or what can look like, even if I don't see necessarily peace in the world anytime soon. I am sensing, because we're in the shift, the great shift, things have to move and rearrange. It's not going to be peaceful for quite some time, guys. Just letting you know. But I think Virgo gets an ounce of peace. And I think Virgo has really been seeking this deep down all along without even realizing it. Okay? And it's going to be very emotional. Okay? Very heartwarming. Queen of Pentacles. There might be even a lady I'm seeing it could be a therapist, counselor, guide that really guides Virgo and lets them know like, hey, this is how you've been feeling. This is how you've been acting. And it's like, it's time to just drop that. You know, it's time to drop the mask, let it go, be your authentic self. So it could be a great time to go on a spiritual journey, dive deeper into your spiritual journey. As you know, Virgos always have. Ever since Virgos are born on this planet, they've started their spiritual journey. They know exactly, automatically, what a spiritual journey is and looks like and feels like. So it's been a long road, but now they're going to go even deeper, okay? Even deeper into the waters of spirituality. So some may become even more, you know, deep into their belief system, faith. Just be careful not to get so caught up into like a cult or organization that, you know, is only about personal gain, let's say. King of Cups. It's like someone's stranded out at sea. Like you might feel like lost without a guide. So you really are going to need a guide. Even though Virgo is their own best guide and their own best friend, it's still, you might still need backup because this is such a heavy, deep thing you didn't even realize you've been carrying with you the whole time. It's like suddenly, like spiritually, like people have more, even collectively, I'm hearing and seeing an epiphany as the ascension energies are speeding up and picking up. You're going to start realizing more that you didn't realize that was like right in front of you the whole time. Queen of Wands, yeah, so specifically even for people who are in the instructing field, in the teaching profession, you might start that profession now. Virgo might maybe teach more, you know, make a new online course, or, you know, make art and sell it and really put their self out there now, even if they're emotionally maybe unwell, quivering. You know, it's like, it's almost like a person that's like almost in the middle of crying all the time because they can't believe where they are in life, but at the same time it's like gratitude, but at the same time it's like, I'm kind of lost. Like I kind of feel alone or left out, or like I'm just different. Now I'm this age, and it's like, it feels like, what do I do now? What's my new identity? Who am I now without who I used to be? That's the perfect way to describe it. Who am I now without who I used to be? Yeah, that's deep, isn't it? 5 of Wands. So be careful trying to pick fights or start things with people, start beef or drama. You definitely want to start beef in 2027, but hands up, fists in the air, you know, be careful of that energy, because, you know, you have to have compassion for yourself, because when you're emotionally turbulent, you're not thinking clearly. There's too much water in your brain, right? So, you know, it's clouding your judgment. And so, you know, I think this is the same lesson Virgo has to repeat, and stop getting involved in other people's business. And this way you have to be left alone for a while, for a hot minute, to stay away from other people's drama. And that was such a hard lesson for you to learn. Ace of Swords. So who is Virgo? You're asking, who am I without all this chaotic drama? Double Ace is here to support your new beginning and your new realization, your new epiphany. Like, now I can do this. Now I can focus on peace. Now I can focus on healing again, right? Without this event, person, energy thing in the way, right? Strength. I'm telling you, this supporting woman, there may even be a couple, 2, maybe even 3 ladies supporting you. Like a best friend, a teacher, and a therapist. There could be 3 ladies, up to 3 ladies, that the trinity of ladies that really help support Virgo. 7 of Pentacles. You know, Virgo always got money on their mind, but it ain't everything in life. I think really it's gratitude. It's a lot of gratitude. Like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm here. Like, it's again, like, do I even deserve this? Like, now I can support and fund my art. It's like a year of like, now I can afford to do this and, you know, spend more time with my cats and dogs and whatever, you know. Knight of Cups. You're not going to be bored in 2027, but I'm seeing, because you have that free time, you now have to sit with your crap. Earth signs have to sit with their crap. And that's uncomfortable, but Virgo can do it, you know? I said for Taurus, they have a hard time. Virgo can do it, but it's a lot of tears. Get ready to have Kleenex next to you next year, because there's going to be a lot of tears. You're wiping gratitude, tears of joy, but tears of like disbelief, tears of like, oh, I didn't realize I was carrying this the whole time. It was that easy. I just didn't realize it. This person made me realize my own faults. So 2027, a water worker. Let's look into Capricorn now. Capricorn for the year 2027, the last earth sign. And then we're going to move on into the final element, the air sign. What's going on with Capricorn in the year 2027? Okay, so what is going on with Caps, my Capricorns for 2027? We have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, and we have Justice. Law, business, something with lawsuits, court dates, mandated court. I feel like it's definitely going to cost Capricorn. Lawyers, attorneys, like legal fees. It's giving that energy. It really is. What is going on? Eight of Swords, Two of Pentacles. Conflict of interest. There could be something in somewhere you're working that's like having a legal fit, and then it affects your job and you're involved legally because you have evidence and you can attest to certain things in the court of law in front of the judge. So you're like an important part of it. You play a small role, but it's part, like if you're not there, the bigger wheels can't spin without you. So you're kind of like that backup, but like then you're kind of back in the company, but then the company's not doing so well legally, so now it affects you because you decide to back the company and not talk smack about them. Something like that. It's almost like you're stuck there, legally binding contracts even. It could be a dispute or communication with that. I almost feel like lack of communication, like it might be maybe even a Mercury retrograde by the time this happens, and that could make things a little messy and sticky, you know. I always say with contracts, you got to be very careful during that time. And I hear something with technology. So technology. Aren't all the attorneys and lawyers or whatever about to be replaced by AI anyway, right? So there could be something there. Maybe it's like, I still see people working aside the chatbots, like in the court of law. It's almost like they introduce them in the courts, but it's still going to be people working, but they're using AI as a tool to help their job. It's not going to be just AI in 2027. Calm down, everyone. But it's like there's going to be like a disagreement between AI, or there could be the first court using AI or something like that. It's a pretty big company with a lot of funds, and it makes you nervous. It makes you question, you know, everything, you know. You know, you're going to be juggling a lot of responsibilities. You know, some might not even see a paycheck for a while because of this legal issue. Capricorn, be careful what company you work for now, because this is a forewarning. You might have to cut your losses and just walk away, find another business, especially if they get lawsuits constantly. That's not a good sign of a steady income or business long term, you know. It's like they may have schemed to make more profit than was legal, and at the expense of the employees. So this is not a good corporate place. I almost see like someone like gets really like even agitated in court and throws something, and then they're involved now in another thing, like, oh, for throwing something at the prosecutor or something. Like it gets sticky fast. Like they are pissed that they got caught, but also there's like a sort of righteous anger on their end as well, because that company also has done good for their employees as well. So they're trying to really show that and represent that to the jury. But oh boy, does it get sticky. I don't know. So I feel like there's a lot of court days in 2027 for Capricorn. Maybe even the business, when the business started. Look at that up. There's a zodiac for a state, a country, when a business began. Look at the zodiac sign of a business. Okay, my YouTube channel is Cancer, right? The zodiac sign of Cancer, July 18, okay? What is the zodiac sign of when the business that you're working for began? Look that up, okay? And even look up where the planets were during that period of time. So that's probably Capricorn, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if this business entity organization began in end of December, beginning to middle of January, whatever year. So, yeah, I think it's going to lose. I think this court is going to favor the public opinion. This might even capture some local media attention. It's not going to play out in a huge manner. But I prophesy that this business will have to either file for a major bankruptcy, or they just have to cut their losses in some way and shut down, okay? 10 of Pentacles. So make sure you walk away before this occurs so you can feed your family. The Magician. You gain because I feel like you still get a check or something for all the suffering, damages, emotional damages even you can claim as a valid reason to countersue perhaps, because I could possibly see you doing this. There could also be unpaid due charges for lack of payment during periods of employment when you still had to work but weren't paid sufficiently because of this lawsuit. A lot of times companies cut back on checks because of that. And unsettled damages, like I said, there definitely could be an energy here of righteous reward as well. Anger and reward. So I think Capricorn wins. They typically tend to be good with finance as well. So I see they sort of have a little bit of a stash for the few months of a hiccup in their typical financial order of things. So, now would be a good time to make sure, do I have, a few months of savings put aside to cover the expenses? Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. I think there definitely will be a lot of peace and happiness by the middle to end of the year. It could be maybe during Capricorn season in 2027 when this all unfolds. So it definitely feels that way now that I look more into this. So by the middle to the end of the year, you're going to find new employment, better pay. It all works out better for you. But I don't, think you stay in that same place too long, because Capricorn tends to stay kind of like similar to Taurus. They don't tend to move around a lot unless they really have to, or it's part of their career to move. Like if your career requires you to travel, that doesn't count. But if you have like a steady 9-to-5 job at one place, oh yeah, you'll stay there forever if you want. It's not like Capricorn to be walking around too much, They like climbing up the same mountain, even if it's steep, okay? So, they like where it's familiar. They'll go to the same store. They'll go, they're very typical, average, like predictable. Some say boring. I don't think they're boring, but I like boring. I'm a Capricorn moon. But anyway, so very fulfilling. I think you're going to realize how smart you are, how much you come up with solutions when others couldn't see one, and how positive you still are. Even though Capricorns are pessimistic people, how positive you remained through this whole process. Okay? Now, if you own the large company, business, organization, entity, and you are getting sued, there's still a positive outcome. There's still a positive outcome, okay? Not all is lost. Even if it's Chapter 7, okay, you'll get bailed out. Things will happen. You still get to keep your car, your home, okay? It's not all epic fail, okay? Bankruptcy is not the worst thing in the world, Capricorn, all right? So, all right. So let's move right along. And I believe, not financial advice, but I believe most people think it's 7 years. Yes, it's 7 years, but you are still able to buy a home within 2 to 3 years of a certain type of bankruptcy, if I'm not mistaken. Most people don't know this because your credit builds pretty quickly after quite a dip. As long as you are making payments for 6 months to a year, it's going to start coming back up to normal numbers. And now they're approving a lot of people to get mortgages for low credit score with lower credit scores. So, you know, not all is lost. Okay, there's a lot of people applying for bankruptcy now. So stay positive, oopsies, okay, if that's the case for you. All right. Okay, there's always a way. There's always programs. There's always something. Okay, so let's move on to air signs. I feel like doing a little more sage. I forgot to do some, but let's go ahead and do some sage. Gosh damn it. I don't want to burn my table. I tried so hard not to get ash on my table. Thank you, Spirit, God, Universe, for cleansing the energies of any past readings. Cleansing the energies of the cards and cleansing the energies of those other cards as well that I just used. So they're ready for my poopsie clients. Cleansing the energy of these new cards I'm about to use. A new card deck for every element. All right. Okay. So. What is going on with Aquarius? Let's start with Aquarius. What's going on with Aquarius? Air sign Aquarius for the year 2027. What does Aquarius need to know right now in this moment in time in their life? What's important? What do they need to be mindful and aware of in the year 2027? Every card deck makes a different sound. I know my long-term bookers, I call them those who book my services, I probably went through like all 20 of my tarot decks by now, probably over the years. Yeah. So I'm thankful for all the people who've been booking me since 2019. Thank you. You really help, you know, me, obviously, but this channel, you know, obviously we all put work to grow our life, to build, you know, like, you know, I definitely do this to help people, to reach people, to connect with them. But I also, obviously, of course, I have to do this for me too, you know. I want to improve my life. I want to build and grow. Like, that's what it's about, you know. That's what keeps you going. If you're like stagnant and stuck, you know, there's no growth in anything you do. It's not worth it, you know. No matter how passionate you are, you still have to eat. You still have to have a roof over your head, you know. So thank you for helping support not just my life, me, but also, you know, the channel, and, you know, thank you for supporting you as well. So, yeah. So I spread the love today. Ace of Cups. And then we have the Eight of Swords. Okay. So, because I know how much these readings have impacted and changed people's lives. So, I never expected to do that, but that's a result. And hopefully by changing people's lives, I'm able to change my own as well, as a return. That's how it works. Ace of Cups, Eight of Swords. So, Aquarius. Aquarius is always like the most interesting to read. They're always the hardest people to read. So let's see what they have going on. It's reminding me of Virgo because we both started on Ace of Cups. Okay. So, but this is seeing things differently, right? This is different. This is like more in tune with the cycles of Earth and nature, and they're definitely more in a path of enlightenment and really tapping into their inner Aquarian energy. It's almost like they purposely sabotage something in 2027. Aquarius almost purposely does something dark, even maybe twisted and sinister. Tries to get themselves caught in a dark moment to see what happens. Just as an experiment. That's the kind of insanity of Aquarius. Like, let's see what happens if I go this path this time. Let's experiment. Let's do a trial. You know, even if you're a scientist, there could be like maybe a clinical trial for something, some new experiment, some new, I don't know why here, like therapy or gene therapy or something like that. Page of Pentacles. We have the Four of Wands. I almost feel like it could be the cure finally for something like huge, like an illness or disease gets revealed that year. You get awarded for it. Something is like, okay, you contributed to the, scientific, I don't know why I hear like backup. Like you were like a backup helper, but you somehow helped. You actually discovered something chemically, or it might have something to do with quantum mechanics or physics. And then it helped discover this cure, this treatment for this ailment. I think you're very passionate about helping families, helping children, helping animals, wildlife, nature, even climate science. I could see that as well. That could be a good path to choose if you're uncertain, Aquarius. 10 of Wands. You might have signed up for more than you wanted. You might have realized before you know it, you have like 3 different jobs. And you might feel kind of exhausted, depleted, drained, and burned out. So make sure you do spend time in nature to heal and recover. The Emperor. Yeah, so you might sort of be very different. You might be off-putting to some people that used to consider you a friend because you're kind of doing your own thing right now. And you're not really spending as much time anymore. You're kind of deep in your, like I said, sciences or arts, and you are sort of enamored by that. And because it's working, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't want anyone to sabotage or disrupt that flow. So whatever you're discovering and whatever's unfolding in your life, you're working hard, silently, quietly. It seems like a lot of people are doing things low-key and silent, quiet, keeping to themselves, not really revealing too much information in 2027. You're having a backup plan. This could even look like becoming a prepper, preparing for doomsday. That could maybe something somehow ignites into you to do this in some ways. Again, it's the crazy, the insane, but it's also illogical. It makes sense at the same time. Because to some people it makes sense and it's logical. To some people it's like, oh, you're wacko, you're out of your knuck and futs, right? You lost your cuckoo, right? Ace of Wands, 8 of Wands, okay? So this is what you will deem successful this year. This won't be a traditional successful year of, oh, I bought a new car. Oh, I'm living my dream life. I bought a dream house. Like every basic bee out there. No, this is going to be like you are doing things the way you want to get done. And it's not the traditional Instagram-worthy captured moment, right? It's like success based on what you deem successful. And you're choosing a different path. You're choosing something that you even shock people around you. Like they wouldn't have expected you to do this way or got things done this way. They're like, what is he or she doing now? What is that Aquarius doing? I didn't expect them to go this path this year. Why are they doing this so different? It's like you've done this before and you'll do it again. 2027 is not going to be how you did things in 2024, 2025. You're doing something completely different now. You're completely changing your identity as a whole. And that's what makes you successful. So by continuing to do this, Aquarius, you will keep moving forward and making new beginnings with each change of identities. Like you almost maybe have alter egos, don't you? Two of Swords and the Magician. This is going to be like you're letting yourself be crazy. You're letting yourself just be that alter ego, I guess. Like you take on a new role. You sort of you're not really focused on what's going on here on Earth. And I think Aquarians are always ahead, 2 steps ahead, but without people really realizing it. They're very intelligent, so you're going to come up with something intelligently that, like, low-key, you know, like, you may not even consciously realizing you're doing it, but you're actually going to, whatever you're doing in 2027 is going to make a ripple effect. By, let's say, 2037, people are going to look back on your work in 2027 and be like, how did they know that was going to happen? How did they know that this was going to be trending then? Or, you know, you're going to be so ahead of the game. Your project or whatever, it won't even pick up or take off right away because you're so ahead. You're so advanced. You know, I feel like maybe your soul comes from an advanced civilization. So I definitely get, you just make stuff work. It's like you manifest quicker. You make stuff happen as well in 2027 by putting in the work. It's time to put in all the hard work. You know, 2026, 2027 is going to be busy years for a lot of people. So I'm not surprised I'm seeing this. So Aquarius, have fun with it. Be crazy, be free, laugh, play, F around. All right, so Libra, let's do Libras. Air sign Libra for 2027. Queen of Pentacles. Why am I not surprised? A lot of personal gain in 2027 for Libra. A lot of financial gain. Traveling to new places, exploring. I think 2027 is finally where you realize where your new home is. I think Libra struggles with finding where they feel home. At home. I feel like a lot of Libras they're not so much earth dwellers, and that's why they like moving around and seeing different parts of the earth to see if it resonates with where they come from as a soul. And then sometimes never find home, and that's okay. But I think you finally find what feels like home or close enough. It feels like, I don't know, I see like a balcony. It could be anywhere, shit. But it feels like it could be South America, could be Asia, a mix of both. You know, like how Portugal influenced Brazil. Something like that, where like colonization influenced another country. Somewhere something like that. Asia and South America. What? By boat, I can only imagine the closest thing. I doubt they did this back in the day. Japan and Chile. Japan and Peru. No, I doubt it. Australia and Peru. Like how Portugal went all the way to Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Like by boat. Like something influenced somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. Moving on. Ace of Pentacles. So it almost feels in the spirit realms like you are sort of like, yes, you gained again, but it's like maybe you might not feel it in 2027, but I'm picking up on after a while you might be tired of winning all the damn time. You might be tired of just winning, right? And then even from that, you want to move on. You know, you're tired of just winning. 10 of Pentacles. There's going to be so much abundance in 2027 for a lot of people. Libras are gonna really feel like, okay, it's cute, but like okay, I'm okay. It's just another check to me at this point. How many more expensive restaurant dinners can I buy? How many more vacations can I pay for? Until it gets so stagnant for you, you're like, okay, this is boring. Yeah. So, Wheel of Fortune, like you're just gonna naturally want to move on from that. Okay. So it's because something in your planets or something in the cycle of your life it's coming to a close, right? And I feel like that's the last of it. You might have maybe stashed up and saved. I feel like low-key, you're ready for like retirement. Okay? You're ready for retirement. Early retirement. You're ready to stop working all the time. I feel like Libras are exhausted. I feel like Libras are done working. And you will be able to easily afford this retirement. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, there's money all around you. You're screaming money. You're bleeding money. You're spitting money. You're money. Okay, you're peeing money. Money's coming out of your butt, literally. Like, I don't mean to be rude or prude, but like, I feel like you're just like, it's a joke to you at this point. Like you're counting cash on your bed and you fall asleep next to it. There's cash under your mattress, your pillow, in your safe, on your balcony. You went outside and threw $100 at a homeless person. Like you are just screaming money in abundance. And I feel like you buy a beautiful palatial place. I really do. Somewhere you can call home. Somewhere with like a garden, a lot of plants. Libras love plants, don't they? Nature. The Fool. And you completely decide slowly though. You do things wisely and gradually. You're not impulsive like that. You plan things very well in order, okay? And you are gradually into 2028, 2029, gonna shift away from work and enjoy all the fruits of your labor. Could even be a huge inheritance or gain in 2027 financially. Good for you, Libra. You're making everyone freaking jealous, you jerks. The Star and the Chariot. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be the most abundant zodiac sign in 2027 is a Libra. Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. It's all your years of work. 10, 20, 30, 40-year run. It's finally going to be like this. This can look like if you're at a job for 30, 40 years, you finally pulled out your 401k and got your 6, 7 figures even. Maybe some 8 figures. I mean, this feels like abundance. This feels like, I'm going to be honest with you, this feels like $1 to $10 million. This feels huge. Even though $1 million doesn't hit the same as it did in the year 2005, but it's still significant, So, yeah. Especially if you live in certain places. Like $1 million is very little nowadays in certain places of the world. As sad as that sounds. So I feel like you're just going to live somewhere cheap, like Asia, South America, but you're going to have like $1 million plus. And it's just, you're going to live so grand and luxuriously. I don't know why I get all of a sudden like Central America. Anyways, moving on. So, you're finally free to do what you please. You're finally free to work on yourself. I think you've been working so hard, you haven't had time to work on you. And when you have time to sit and think and enjoy your riches, you're actually going to start to make better decisions. Because you're not so enamored by money and caught up with gain, personal gain. I'm not saying all Libras are. I'm just saying, hear me out. Like, we're all tired. We're all working. Even if you're self-employed, you're working the 9 to 5, basically. You know what I'm saying? We're all tired. We're all tired of working. Libra, I think, gets a way out first. Then other zodiac signs, slowly with time. Okay? But this is the era of work is done. It's over. Okay, after this decade, no mas. I really doubt. I would be so surprised if by 2035 someone is still working for a paycheck. You might as well just slap me across the face if that happens. I want somebody to slap me across the face if someone is still working for a paycheck by the year 2035. Okay, moving on. Two of Cups. So I'm definitely seeing love. Some of you could be actually reigniting old love, realizing what you really want. We have the Two of Pentacles. But Libras don't really settle like that. They still don't settle. So I think they still sort of play mind games with themselves, mind games with other people. It's definitely an energy of like, you know what? I don't even want this either. It's like they rearrange the whole thing. Like they have like this constant thirst to change things up, but still it's like a balance, right? Like I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be like this, and then I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be like this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be like this. It's giving Gemini, and that's who we're entering into the reading into next. But maybe it's a Gemini person, friend that you rekindle things with, or your Gemini rising is really influencing your chart and your abilities to perform in other ways, because it's almost like you're going to realize, I mean this with love, how much you suck at certain things, Libra. You're not so good with arts or designing your home or creativity. It's like you're kind of like duh, you know, with that. So you're better off hiring someone to do the interior design. That's how I see it. I think you're going to realize how much you're not good at that. You're not qualified in that department. So I think you just should use that money to make your home more beautiful than you think you can make it. Okay. They're good, but they're not. It's so hard to explain. Let's look into Gemini 2027. Let's move on. I'm not gonna move on with that. But I mean with love. I mean it with love. Like, hey, I suck at drawing unless someone teaches me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends. So anyway, Gemini 2027, final Zodiac, final part of the reading, final element. Page of Cups, we have Four of Cups. All right, so some people, almost like a thirst trap for some people. You might be thirst trapping out there, right? You might be looking for attention or clicks, or you might sort of let your inner child play as well. I do kind of see that as well. I'm also seeing sort of like you enjoying your own company more. Maybe you're not spending so much time with friends or people. You're kind of self-isolating right now. You're sort of like feeling independent. You're not feeling left out though. You're feeling just like, yeah, let me do my own thing for a hot minute, see where this takes me. You're taking your New Year's resolution and goals seriously as well. That'll be a good year for you to start, you know, on a better footing with goals. I feel like even 2026, like no one's really doing the New Year resolution crap anymore. But then 2027 people are like, oh, actually, I really should have done it in 2026. And they scratch their head and they realize the importance of, you know, setting goals and whatever. I didn't hear a single person set goals this year. Even that person I used to see running every day, I'm like, I don't see them running every day now. Like, I feel like people just gave up. Yeah. 5 of Wands and Strength. So, I'm definitely getting this energy of, you might be, really choosing to settle things down, tone it down a bit. You kind of felt like, oh, maybe I acted a little too nutty, a little too cray-cray at that time. Now let me like not do this particular thing. Something like that. I don't know. It's giving like maturity energy, but it's like, you know, Geminis can never be too serious, right? They're definitely love to be the jokesters, the tricksters here. Sometimes the class clown, right? So, but there's something here. It's like, oh, let me move on from my old ways. Something like that is the best way I can describe it. A reflection, a very much like, let me look back at my past history and see what I accomplished, what I did. It's a lot of introspection as well. King of Swords and the Page of Swords. It's definitely going to be an air sign energy for you. I think Geminis are going to be more in their air sign unit than other air signs, like Aquarius and Libra. They're definitely going to feel it more next year. I don't know why here, ready to fight. Maybe there's going to be a war happening. Because sometimes with these zodiac readings, I'm also seeing a collective. There could be some war or something ready to go down in 2027 that other nations have to step up. Could be a country with like some blue on their flag. I'm definitely getting, there's like a fighter spirit, or like, you know, I'm really going to start pursuing things that I should have started to pursue long before. Gemini sort of kind of stalls and waits for things a bit, you know, at times. And other times they jump right on and get to it, but then they still kind of stall and drag things on. So, you know, there could be like an indecisive nature to Gemini because of that split personality, the dual nature. Like one says yes, one says no. So it's you're in the middle of that. Very similar to Libras in deciding how to design their home. No shade, but shade. Speaking of shade, always picking the wrong shade of color on the walls. Seven of Wands, Knight of Wands. So, like this stupid, dull, boring gray. Can you believe this color is called agreeable gray? This is nothing is agreeable about this gray. Okay, it's not a bad color, but it's like, I think even my poopsies are tired of looking at gray walls. Just saying. My new walls are going to be like beigey kind of color. I guess in some context they can still appear gray. It's not really gray though. It's like a coffee cream, like a light, creamy, like beige kind of color. I don't know if it's similar to this coffee table, but it's darker than that. But it's like, it's a better color than this gray. But I don't really want to, unless I'm long-term there, I don't really want to put in the work to paint the walls because it's a rental. But anyway, moving on. I'm rambling at this point. I'm getting restless and ready to get out this chair because I think I've been here for like 2+ hours at least. Seven of Wands and Knight of Wands. So I'm definitely seeing this energy of a lot of like, I don't know, like, oh, I'll fight you. Like, I'll fight you if I have to. Like, I'll disagree with you if I have to. And you kind of just like really speak up now. It's going to be a more speaking up type of year for you. And even if it means war, even if it means going to war with somebody. And I think you don't really have the same support system you used to. And, you know, the older we get, you know, the thinner our social group gets typically, unless we're freaking like extrovert socialites. But even then it's like vague and superficial. Like you're not keeping the same people you've had for 20, 30 years, you know? So it's like, you know, that you might feel lack of that support. You might feel alone or independent, but it won't bother you. But it's going to be like still thinking about and reflecting about how there's a lack of that support around you. But it's still good support. The little support you have is going to be good support, okay? Three of Cups and King of Cups. Final outcome card. This is definitely showing and confirming that support I've mentioned, but also, getting your own back, even could be like a Pisces energy with Gemini and Pisces. I see in 2027, you guys are going to work more on your emotional well-being, your emotional healing. And I'm ready to get out of this chair. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have enjoyed. It's going to be a simple year is what I see. A simple, kind of mundane, maybe a little bit boring year for Gemini. But thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have enjoyed your tarot card readings. I will see you all very soon. Please book me on TonyBomboni.com and let everyone know about my services. I'm really trying to grow my business. I would appreciate the word of mouth. I love you all, and I will catch you around in the next video. Bye.